Hello, it's Santeri from Amorphis, and you are watching Loud TV, and don't forget to stay metal.
You're watching, you're watching, you're watching. You're watching, you're watching, you're watching. You're watching, you're watching, you're watching. You're watching.
I'm Joseph from Loud TV. Thank you very much for joining us. I can just say personally, before I even really get started, I'm so excited. It's my most exciting interview. As you can tell, I'm a huge fan of the band. I'm very excited for this, and so I love the new live singles that have just come out. I've been playing them. I put them on repeat because there was only the first one that came out, literally just on repeat in my bathroom as I'm getting ready in the morning. Love it.
Nice to hear.
Yeah. So tell me about that show and the elements that made it different.
Well, the show was, I think it was during the Corona times, you know, it was banned to play like real shows with the live audience, and we were kind of desperate to do something, and I don't know who came up with this idea, maybe record company, that we could do some live performances, you know, for the fans. And absolutely what made it different was that there's no audience at all, you know. We were actually trying to, just before the coronavirus, we had Tales from a Thousand Lakes, some sort of anniversary tour. We had like dozens and dozens of gigs booked, and an American tour with Entombed, and everything got cancelled. So I think that's where it came from, that we already had like idea to play the Tales. So then we just booked the legendary venue in Helsinki and played the whole album through, and it was very different experience because there was no fans or audience, so wasn't like not normal feedback, answer question kind of thing, you know, and no reactions or nothing. But personally, it wasn't that bad that I thought. It was kind of like making a music video. On the other hand, we played live, and we played the whole album. There was a lot of different kind of dimensions to the difference compared to the normal show, but I think we managed.
And so you're obviously, because you're playing the whole way through, you're playing some songs that you haven't played in quite some time. What was it like to go back to those moments? Because obviously you helped create that in the very beginning.
Well, I wasn't there in the beginning with Tales, but I actually played a couple of shows with Amorphis. Was it back in '94 or '95 when Kasper Mortensen, who used to be the keyboard player, he had some sort of a infection in his hand. I think it was something to do with the release shows. I played a couple of shows with Amorphis. So for me it was a tiny bit going back to the roots, and but yeah, as you said, there was a lot of songs we normally don't play because we normally play Black Widow Day, Into Hiding Ground, Made, Castaway, sometimes Magic Mayhem, but we can't play the whole album because we have to fill up the set list with the newer stuff also.
Right.
But it was a very nice experience because I used to be a Amorphis fan. At the times of the Tales from the Thousand, the album was classic, and it played everywhere in Helsinki, in the clubs and in the parties, and you know, we played a lot of shows with Amorphis together with my ex-band. So it was a very nice experience to go back to the roots and play the classic album from the beginning till the end, and no bullshit. It was also pretty challenging to go back to those times, you know.
Well, it's very keyboard heavy too, as far as that album goes. With it's got the Moog, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but all the different sounds that are in there. So
yeah, personally, keyboard-wise, I would say Tales from the Thousand Lakes was one of the first albums with new kind of a vibe with the keyboards, because we only had the 80s bands who used a lot of like really poppy kind of keyboard, and then we had the 70s where the prog guys did some real like a talented virtualized playing, but Tales was one of the first, maybe the first album which really introduced keyboards to the metal scene or death metal scene or extreme metal scene, and oh boy, what an atmospherical element it is actually in the Tales, and it was a true pleasure to play again those classic Kasper melodies, you know.
And so, obviously, you're being a fan of the band and knowing all that goes into this album, I keep coming back to it, has had a huge fan response. Obviously, over 30 years, there's been a lot of really good music that has come out of Amorphis, but there's for some reason this particular album resonates. Obviously, you guys think so because you wanted to go do a tour where you played the whole album, which, by the way, I was very disappointed. I was going to go through my town. That's so sad.
We too.
Yeah. Hopefully, at some point in the future, you guys might do that again because I know there's a response for it.
I take a wild guess we will someday because it is a very classical album and it kind of like introduced Amorphis to the fans and to the world, and we already played it. We already practiced the whole thing, so it's. I think at some point we will come back to this idea, but first we will concentrate on the new material and wait for the right moment, obviously.
Yeah, well, on that note, you've got that underway. We were talking about it just briefly, about when that's coming out, and some of the things that said, hey, it's going to be 2025. You said it might be earlier than that.
I think it's next month, 12 to be precise. I don't know, something to do with the beginning of July.
Okay.
This year, not 25.
Yes, not 2025.
No.
Okay, fantastic. So, was there anything different in the process for this album coming out right now, and how it came along? Anything that sets it apart from, I guess, what came before?
No. We are pretty old musicians. We mainly concentrate playing the music and let the record companies and the managers and agents deal with all this kind of stuff. So we are just waiting for the final product and get the vinyl in hands to see the graphics and stuff because we still haven't had it.
Okay. So, where do you jump in the process? I was actually just asking that of the drummer a minute ago, but when we're recording, at what point are you getting in on the recording process? Are you getting complete material and then jumping in, or are you contributing to the writing process? Tell me about that.
Oh, the new album.
Yes.
I think everybody has done some songs in their home studios a little bit, but we haven't still collected those. And I think we start after the Halo tour ends. We do a US tour with Dark Tranquillity in I think it was September. It started from Rock Power, the big festival in Atlanta. And after that we stop, and I would say pretty much after the tour we start collecting the material and sending them to the producer. I think that's secret still, but unfortunately, and then the producer can a little bit select the songs and give ideas, and then I would say in the end of the year we probably have most of the instrumentation recorded already, and I think it's planned to come out maybe next year fall or something like this, because it takes time to build up the promotion and make everything ready. And but to be honest, we don't have the release date set, obviously. But I would say in the winter the album is made. It's recorded and mixed and mastered probably till latest March, maybe already in February. It's still a little bit open for us.
As a huge fan also of Dark Tranquillity, I'll be catching you when you come to Washington. I'll probably bring my entire family. My kids love.
Absolutely, nice.
And Dark Tranquillity. Even my ex-wife, so I'll take her too.
Oh, that's a good one. We must be pretty good if you bring your wife and ex-wife.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
It's pretty wild.
Well.
So I know this is old news for you, obviously growing up in Finland, and it's a well-known fact, but I just visited Finland for the first time 2 years ago, and I went because I had heard it's kind of a heavy metal country, and I was still surprised to see that heavy metal was on the radio. I heard Amorphis playing in a bar, when I went to the bar. So how has this level of appreciation and lack of stigma contributed to the development of the band and how it's come along? And has it always been like that? Has it always been, Finland always been so open to extreme music?
Not always, but maybe in the early 90s it started to come. There was a period in the 90s when only radios played pop music, and metal was kind of like dirt if you ask some radio journalists. But suddenly it started to come back, maybe because of Amorphis, Sentenced, even Valtari finished like a crossover band. There were some pioneers who we respect forever, and suddenly it started to grow a lot. And I think ever since like 97, 98, ever since the metal has been very big in Finland, and as you said, Finland is probably one of the main metal countries in the world, even though we are small. But you can do like a lot of shows in Finland, like even as a foreigner band, you know, you can do 4 or 5 shows easily, you know. And we are, Finland is so small; it's the size of one European big city, you know, the whole people.
Well, and it's such a musical country. Is there like a push, I guess, from like the community level? I visited the library, for example, in Helsinki, and they had free instruments to play. So I don't see that here, you know, or in France or in America.
There's some support for metal bands, but it's could be more. Considering that we have such a big bands touring Europe and all the world, and there's a lot of bands who are known everywhere. And let's put it this way: biggest bands from Finland known in the whole world are metal bands. So we are not in the level. I think that most of the community support goes still to the classical music and jazz music, and nowadays even pop music, because Finnish industry is always waiting and waiting that maybe some pop star would break through. But then they pass the fact that there's a lot of metal bands doing great and making a living. But yeah, the support is pretty little and going down all the time, you know. So you know, we are so fed up with like a support system, like you can ask support. We don't even fill the fucking forms because we never get them any. The metal is still considered kind of like underground music, and you know, and in a mainstream level, you know, which is kind of sad because Finland should be super proud of metal and hard rock roots and what we have. Lordi even won the Eurovision Song Contest, you know. Come on,
Exactly.
Bring in, support more metal and respect what there is. But yeah, it's still the same old 90s crying out. They're crying for some pop band to break through. It would be so cool. Why would it be cooler than a real metal band breakthrough? No, what's the point?
Yeah. What's better than that?
Yeah, what's better than that?